Welcome to the latest episode of 5 on the Floor, the 5 Reasons Sports Network. We're going live tonight. I got Alex and Brady. If you're hearing us on the podcast feed, we appreciate that. Also on the YouTube channel, we'll take your comments tonight. We're sponsored here by Cash App. We've got a code for you. It's Secure10. You've got to check out Cash App. All of us in the network have it. This is the most secure way to send money or receive money. Scammers know the holidays are busy for everyone, which makes us all targets for scams. That's why Cash App builds in protection to help keep your money safe while you're checking off your shopping list. If you're about to send money to someone for a deal that's too good to be true and Cash App flags it as a potential scam, they'll warn you before they send the money. Cash App also gives you an extra layer of protection with features like security lock. You can require a PIN, Face ID, or fingerprint to unlock your account and move money. So even if someone gets a hold of your unlocked phone at a holiday party, your money is right where you left it. Gift yourself some peace of mind this holiday season and download Cash App. Also, for limited time only, new Cash App customers can use our exclusive code. It's Secure10. Download Cash App, use the code Secure10, send $5 to a friend within 14 days. You get $10 drop right into your account. Terms apply. That's money. That's Cash App. Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Promotions provided by Cash App, a Block Inc. brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. And now, today's live episode.
Uh-oh. Yeah, it's Mercy. Music by Mercy again. Heat Nation, we the culture. Yo, I need you to call timeout. Need Brady to set the floor plan. Tropical blanket, open for the shot. Yo, Greg, set the pick. Still 5 on the floor, still ride for my dog. Still battle on the court, still survive in the war. Keep your eye on the ball, or get burned from the keep this mic off the wall without turning the cheek. From night to day, no sleepy paths or allowed to morning. The nut is sleeping us, never catch us snoring. Live from Miami, report in the heat with 5 Reasons Sports from the courts to the streets. Yeah, Wake County, Heat Nation, we say it proudly.
Welcome to 5 on the Floor, a daily insider show on the Miami Heat and the NBA, featuring Ethan Skolnick, Greg Sylvander, Alex Toledo, Brady Hawk, and others from the 5 Reasons Sports Network. Also, make sure to subscribe to Off the Floor for the most heat anywhere.
There's a lot of blame going around here on the comments, so we'll get to some of these. Miami Heat lose 118-108 to the Dallas Mavericks. Cooper Flagg, 18 years old, 22 points tonight on 9 of 13 shooting, 6 rebounds, and a couple of assists. The kid Nembhard, I don't know why he was undrafted. Oh, he's small. I guess that's why. 13 assists, 15 points. Anthony Davis had 17, 17, and 4. Najee Marshall, who always hurts the Heat, unless Jimmy's going at it with him. 18 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 17 points from Klay Thompson off the bench, although he was 6 of 17 from the floor. There's going to be some conversations here about Spolstra decisions. And, Brady, I'll go to you first on this. You just wrote a piece, it's on SI, about getting Ware in there more frequently, particularly when he's playing well. He played 25 minutes tonight. He had 22 and 10. Was 4 of 5 from 3 on a night that the rest of the team was 7 of 32. 7 of 32 from 3. But the part about this that, again, we have to discuss is that there's so much conversation about him in the starting lineup. They led after the first quarter. Okay. The problem seemed to be other portions of the game. How would you handle this differently if you're Spo? Because Ware made some second efforts, but there were also some defensive decisions he made, which were not ideal. Where do you go with this?
I mean, if it was me before this game, I talked about it, I would have started Ware in this game. I just think that's what you do against a big front like Dallas, and they're going to muck the game up and make it in the mud and make it kind of a defensive game. That's what's going to happen when you have 2 top 5 defenses going at it. But even if you forget the starting lineup thing, honestly, I just think even if they don't start, they need to play together. That's just been my thing. They have to find a way to get back to it, whether it's Ware comes in early and they make a quick sub and Bam stays out there and they're able to kind of go on a run together, just try to build something together, try to build some type of offensive flow or defensive flow. If they could have found maybe something with the big lineup there in the mix that could have kind of stumbled upon Dallas's hot streak of offense all of a sudden. They have to get to it a little bit more often. And let's even take it even a step further. Let's even forget Bam and Ware for a second. What about Ware just getting more minutes? I mean, he walked into the fourth quarter as one of their best player tonight overall. And he had more points than minutes walking into the fourth quarter. I don't know if that should happen. I just feel like in games like this, especially in games where you lack energy, when the role players don't have it, when some other guys we're going to talk about, like Wiggins, does not have it going offensively, and the one guy that does kind of bring you some type of energy on one side of the floor, I just feel like you have to play that guy. Like, even forgetting the Bam thing, like you just have to kind of increase his minutes. So it's just been a weird thing because it felt like we were trending in a direction where he was getting that type of respect, where he was getting those type of minutes because he was on that run of just like big rebound games and 20-point performances game after game after game. And then I think we just it got lost in the mix when he kept back down to this bench role. And I think where Spo was thinking today is, I think what he'll say is he's trying to find some familiarity and consistency with his role, where he's like comfortable in his role, where they're not constantly changing him from starter to bench. But I don't know if this is making any better, because when you're a confidence type player and you're having these short spurts where you're sitting on the bench for long pockets of the game, I don't know if that's helping him either. So I just think one of my main takeaways from this game is that he has to play more, specifically on nights when he has it going, right? Like that should be a read from the staff, where it's like, because there is games where does not look like he has it going, where defensively he's rough, or offensively he just is not confident. And maybe those are the games where you tone down his minutes. But when he comes out like this tonight, where he looks strong out the gate, you have to play that guy.
I'm going to give you some stat lines, Alex, because I know the conversation here is about Ware, and then it's going to turn into Tyler. So we'll get to that. 4 of 18, 2 of 7, 1 of 5, 2 of 8, 3 of 10. That's Andrew Wiggins, who was as bad tonight as he's been the entire season. It wasn't just the shooting. I don't know what those two possessions were at the end. Why he's forcing things in those situations. He can be a black hole sometimes, but he did have 5 assists, which is 5 more than Tyler had, which I'm sure will get brought up. 4 of 18 is Wiggins. 2 of 7 is Davion. He had 9 assists and no turnovers. It's just crazy. He just keeps doing that. But he was not as impactful offensively as he's been, in my view. Pelle Larsson gave them pretty much nothing offensively tonight. 1 of 5 as the spot starter for Norm. Fontecchio's slump continues. 2 of 8, 2 of 7 from 3. I think the magic dust is worn off on that. And Jaquez was 3 of 10, although I actually thought he played better tonight. He got some bad rolls, a little out of control at times. But I mean, we can talk about. I mean, Bam was fine statistically. Okay, Tyler 8 of 17 for 20, but again, no assists. But if those 5 guys, if you're going to have 5 guys shoot that poorly, and one of them is shooting with the volume that Wiggins is shooting with, you're going to shoot 40% from the floor and 30% from 3, which is what they did tonight. Isn't that where the blame for tonight should go?
Yeah, like I know this is what happens inevitably when we do post-game shows right after the buzzer. Just in general, it feels like it's always a battle of who can do the blame game and who can be the most, who can have the most conviction with the way that they present the blame game stuff. I get it, but it's true. Like, those guys were the ones. I think I'm almost more okay with, just in general, like pointing at multiple guys than when people do the whole point at one guy thing. But yeah, multiple guys really struggled tonight offensively. You give credit to the Mavs, I was really impressed by them overall tonight. Like, they actually, like, compared to what we saw just a week ago, right? Like, they look like an actual team now. Like, the way they're playing, they look like a team. We already knew their defense was strong, but now, like, with Anthony Davis back in the mix, with Ryan Nembhard starting, my God, I came away most impressed by him, because, like,
he's a good player.
Everybody knew that, like, the people who knew about him knew that he can really pass, knew that he was a really smart point guard. But man, like, how poised does he look as a rookie? It's insane. There's a reason that Jason Kidd is starting him over D'Lo and Brandon Williams. He was just diagnosing everything that the Heat did out there, look poised in man or in zone. But just in general, I came away really impressed by that, by the Mavs. And I think tonight, just looking at kind of what they did offensively, they kind of had a similar night to what the Heat did to the Clippers the other night. Now, obviously, it wasn't a blowout game, but as far as like the hot shooting in the mid-range, hot shooting in the paint, hot shooting from 3, it's a very similar shot profile there. I think the Heat had some mistakes, but the fact that the Mavs had their hot shooting night at the same time that the Heat had, like, their really rough one with all these guys, like it just, it was tough for them. Like the Heat just looked like they were slumping out there. And yeah, I think Wiggins was very, very rough tonight. I just said, I'm trying not to do the blame game stuff, but it's really tough to not look at him because of not only the stat line, the 4 of 18 looks really bad, but like you mentioned, Ethan, those plays that he was trying to make at the end, man, like he's made some really clutch threes off the catch this season. He's been a good player for them this season. I know people like got really mad at that episode we did the other day because they thought I was blaming Wiggins or whatever. So I'm trying to take it easy on him, but he had a really rough night tonight. And so did a lot of other guys.
Well, it wasn't the only one, right? But I mean, he played the most minutes too. So if he's going to play that many minutes and he's going to struggle that much, I don't understand why the ball was going to him in those situations. That's all. I just think, again, they don't have Norm. I get it. He's hugely important to them, but yeah, Wiggins was not good tonight. All right, let's get to the player of the game, and then I want to get into something specific with Tyler, which I know a lot of people are waiting for here. So.
And now it's time for the A-Aggressive Insurance Player of the Night, sponsored by our friend Lynette. You can find her at insurancebylynette.com. That's with 2 N's and 2 T's, insurancebylynette.com. If you need car insurance, renter's insurance, homeowner's insurance, or any other type of insurance, she's the person to go to. Based in Lauderhill, she services the entire Tri-County area here in South Florida, and she will make sure to get you the best deal. She'll probably talk to you about the Heat while you're at it. Reach out to her, insurancebylynette.com. And now, the player of the game.
Brady, I'll let you. I mean, you've talked about Ware quite a bit. Can we talk about Cooper Flagg for a second? I'm curious what you think of him. I mean, 18 years old. He had the big scoring night the other night, 35. His teammate at Duke seems to be getting most of the shine for Rookie of the Year right now. But what do you think his upside is?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, he's gonna be so good. I mean, that was funny. Spo the other night when he was asked about him, he was like, "If I was him in his position in this role at that age, like I'd be taking 30 shots a game." Like he just does it so controlled and does it so condensed in a way where, yeah, he's been so good. I mean, watching him tonight with some of the stuff where, look, he got 3 fouls quick. Like where honestly, veering off a little bit, I thought Miami kind of let him get away with it a little bit. Like I felt like there was some guys that should have just been going at him, trying to get him to get that 4th foul. When they saw him not leave the game when he got his 3rd foul, I would have been going at that guy immediately. But he stayed in. He was able to, not pick up that other foul, and he was really good offensively. He hurt Miami. He had some really nice moves, so which just like some dribble packages in a mid-range, some hard attacks. So he was good in general. But I'll parlay that into saying something else real quick, because I know we're talking so much about the shooting percentages of some of these guys. I think bigger than the offense, I thought the defense was really bad in this game. I thought that was the number one problem. I thought that was like when you're playing this good of a defense, that's going to happen. Miami has never really played great offensive games against Dallas. Like in recent memory, I don't remember many of them. They won, even the game this season, they won in the mud. They won defensively. They played good on that end of the floor. And when you're talking about some of the guys that are shooting bad, some of those role guys that are usually good defensively, I just didn't think they were good defensively in this game. I thought Dallas was getting right past the perimeter defense. Like they were penetrating early, like easily getting paint touches, and it was leading to some of the stuff down low with Gafford or AD or some of these other things around the rim. They were also doing some stuff where no matter where AD caught the ball, they were sending a double. And the Heat you mentioned that Heat lead early. That went away because of those doubles. I mean, they were setting some doubles, and it was swing, open 3, and Nembhard had 2 in a row right there, and all of a sudden Miami's down in the game, and they kind of went south from there. I just thought there was a lot of defensive miscues in this game that kind of put them in that position. And look, the offense gets a lot of credit. They have a lot of high scoring totals. The defense has been very good this year. That has been what's kind of really kept them consistently winning these games, because they're playing offense off their defense. And when the defense looks like that, they are not going to be able to play offense off it. So credit to Cooper Flagg, credit to AD, credit to all these guys that we're talking about. But that was the number one thing. The shooting's going to happen. I mean, they're not going to shoot. Their role players are not going to shoot 50% from the field the rest of the season, but they can play some defense and kind of get it in the mud in these certain nights.
The Heat had 29 assists tonight. Without looking at the box score, guys, how many did Bam and Tyler have combined? Am I frozen? I'm not frozen.
No.
Am I frozen? My question froze you both. I've already kind of given it away a little bit.
You gave the Tyler
okay,
one away.
How many assists did Bam and Tyler have combined?
4.
I'll say 2.
1.
Yeah.
Team had 29 assists tonight, and 2 of their fulcrums had 1 assist. Why is that happening? It's not just Tyler, by the way. It's not just Tyler. They're not using Bam in that. I know the problem was major the defense, but why are they not? The assists have not been there for Tyler since he's come back. Okay, and this is a guy who averaged 5 to 6 assists. They're playing at a faster pace this year. Why is this happening with both of them?
I'll just quickly say before Alex gets on it, I just think with Tyler's, they're not helping as much on Tyler's drives. So like early in the game, Tyler was very good off the attack. I thought he was really good getting downhill, getting layups. But what you're noticing is it's a lot of one-on-one ball. Like they're not going to help off their outside guys because that's what Miami wants to get to on those drives. They want to play the drive and kick game. So they kind of let Tyler get going. Bam is the weird one because I would think he would have had more assists just because the amount of attention he had in this game, the amount of doubles they were sending him in the paint, you would think he would have had more. But it is kind of a weird thing. Tyler, I know we can get into Tyler a little bit more, but I just thought they're not really sending a ton of doubles at him like they did in the past, like they did last year and all those on-ball screens. It's like pretty much like, well, Tyler can get downhill and do some of this stuff, and we're just not going to let him play that drive and kick game and get into that style.
What do you think, Alex? Is that why?
Yeah, I think those points are definitely
some of this
valid.
was missed shots, but right?
Yeah, no doubt. There's no doubt about it. There was some shots created tonight for sure that didn't go in, but I think what Brady said is 100% true, and I also think in general, like Tyler's usage is down as a result of as a result of the system that they're trying to run and have been running, right? Not that he doesn't touch the ball, but I think all of those things are coming together, right? And then you see a Mavs defense that is really nice, and a Heat team that just didn't have a lot of shots go down for sure in some of these games. I think that was the case in the last Mavs game, so it's probably not a coincidence, right? Especially on a night without Norm in general, who's just been an insane, like their best release valve this season on offense. They didn't have that tonight. They didn't have that in the other game against the Mavs as well. But yeah, like I just think in general they got to keep trying to create the shot quality stuff. Right, like they're creating these good shots, and I think Tyler is like doing his best to try to fit into what they're doing and not trying to revert to what they were before, where it was a lot of pick and roll basketball for him, and he would find himself holding the ball. And I think in general, like Brady pointed out, when you're the best offensive threat, when you're holding the ball for that long, it's a lot easier to send help, to send a second guy, as a now where you're running this fast-paced system where guys are supposed to be moving around all the time. All of these things are coming together for sure. Tyler has felt more like. It's felt like on the spectrum of like playmaker versus play finisher, he's gone more towards play finisher this year. Not always, but more than what he was post Jimmy last season.
Right. I think that's fair. And I think that as you look at both, again, they're getting them from other places. I mean, Davion had 9 assists again tonight, no turnovers, and Wiggins had 5 assists, so I can't remember any of them. But this does seem to be a consistent pattern where it does seem like Tyler is taking time to adjust to the way that they're playing him. And you're right, they're giving him less attention, not more. Like we've always talked about, once he gets less attention, it's going to be beneficial for him. But it actually seems like he's having trouble kind of figuring that out because so much of his development over the last couple of years was his developing those counters, right? We've discussed that, and there's not really a need for some of those counters right now. All right, let's get to the play of the night, and then I'll let you guys close with other thoughts from tonight.
And now it's time for the X-Ray of the Play of the Day, brought to us by our friends over at Mobile C-Arm and Staffing Services. Nelson and his team will bring the X-Ray equipment and the staffing to you. If you work in a hospital or medical office, get a consultation today at c-armandstaffing.com or give them a call at 561-891-9620. Their fleet of trucks at your service. Again, it's Mobile C-Arm and Staffing Services, 561-891-9620. And now, the X-Ray of the Play of the Day.
right, what are we taking here? Brady, your turn tonight on this one.
I'm sick that I even have to do this with this type of highlight plays that were going on tonight, but I'm just gonna go Kel'el. Like, I honestly, you know what we should highlight? I saw somebody say in the comments before too, is Kel'el's 3-ball. Like, that has been something that has been really interesting because he has like this thing where he like pass fakes and then get, like when he pass fakes and then shoots, it's like he's not even thinking when he shoots. And I feel like it's going in every time. The shot has looked clean. It's one thing to kind of be a threat around the rim in this new offense and do all this stuff, but I mean, at times he has to play on the perimeter to kind of make it make sense, and he's done a good job at it. So Kel'el's one of the players that I think deserves a lot of credit tonight, just because he didn't have like huge minute pockets of the game to really get it going, and I still felt like he found energy, found scoring, found different ways to do things. So yeah, I'll say that was kind of the main play of the game. And one of the other things I want to say is one of my final thoughts. I mean, Norman Powell is pretty important, isn't he? Like, isn't that like a primary takeaway from this game? I mean,
Yeah.
I hate doing the thing. Me and Alex talk about all the time where like you like say like the player that's not playing is going to change it, but like this is one of those few occasions where it's like things just look different when they don't have Norman Powell. I mean, that's been clear with or without Tyler. I feel like they've just been a better basketball team, and it's just because of how efficient he is on and off the basketball. And I'm not saying scoring wise. I'm saying with limiting his dribbles, moving on the break, moving in the half court, so kind of setting guys up. I saw somebody say before, like, I mean, I think Powell Wiggins, I mentioned this after some wins this season, are a really great duo. I think they have real chemistry. That is not something I really tracked before the season and saw that one coming. I'm not saying that's why Wiggins shot the way, toward eights tonight because Powell wasn't playing. But I do think there is a real chemistry there where he does bounce off when the perimeter pressure is there from Powell, when Powell's on the move and all that stuff. So that's just something to mention. I mean, Powell, like, he's a big part of this. He's a big part of this team and their success.
No, he is. And I think this is going to, again, lead to some decision-making as they go forward to figure this out. Alex, let's close here. They're in Orlando on Friday night. The Magic lost tonight at home to a Spurs team without Castle and without Wemby, so they had their own bad loss, and they got a bad call at the end. But these two teams look like they're going to be tied together the whole year, from the first preseason game to the first regular season game to now they sort of look like the fourth or fifth teams in the East, where they may see each other again. At some point. Orlando hasn't had Paolo, but the Heat are going to see them twice in 4 days or 5 days, and one's for NBA Cup. I don't know if Bankara is going to be back on Friday, but how do you feel about this team going into Orlando after losing this?
I mean, they're definitely going to be looking to, come back with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, I think, just as far as like the way that this game went, like, Brady was talking about earlier. Whenever they're not on their game defensively, I feel like that's always like, it's always going to be the number one thing in whatever they talk about before the next game. They need to have that foundation, right, in every game. And I think like that's when they're at their best. And they just like, that's what's made the fast paced stuff so nice, so refreshing, is that they've been able to create so many more looks and so many more better looks. It's like they're getting both of those things, right? They're just from the sheer possessions that they're playing and the way that they're playing the off ball movement, the emphasis on the driving kick. They've just gotten better shots than some of the stuff they gotten over the past couple of years. So I just think in general, like, I think it's going to be a game where the Heat are, kind of on point defensively. I'm expecting them to, defend Franz and Bane at a high level. And I wouldn't be surprised if, they came away with a win. It's just, that's kind of I think Norm will probably end up playing. Who knows, right? Like, I'm obviously not reporting that. It just seems like they're trying to take it easy with him when they feel like they have a chance to, right? And not always, like, I don't know. From just the way that they're talking, it doesn't seem like it's something that's going to hold him out. So if he's back, I think adding him right back into the mix is going to be a huge help for them, as you guys have been talking about, just what he brings to the offense. But I feel good about what they've got going against the Magic. It's just now they have a different identity than the way that they looked when they played it in the first night. Like, they play faster without Paolo, and no shots to him. It's just that's his play style, and they're getting more out of Franz and Bane as a result. And I think probably when Paolo's back, you're going to be seeing some sort of effort that they try to get those guys all going, because they've clearly got something there, right? Like Franz and Bain are really good players. And I think it's going to be about those two guys for sure.
Well, here's a couple of reasons I think they need to get Norm back for that game. First thing, he was really good in the season opener up there. But beyond that, Suggs is an elite defender. And if Tyler is their only scoring option on the perimeter, then that's going to be problematic.
It's not going to go well.
So I think that it's not going to go well. And the other thing is, remember how they lost that game? They had that game. They had a lead late, and then they gave up a ton of defensive rebounds or offensive rebounds to Orlando at the end. Wendell Carter Jr. had 3 during the last 5 minutes that were critical. They're still playing big even without Paolo. And yeah, Ware needs to play. I mean, that's just the way it is. He needs to play. I mean, Orlando is playing a little bit differently without Paolo, but it's an interesting test. You've got the Sacramento game in between, which you don't want to drop that one on the second night of a back-to-back. But I would expect Norm to be in there on Friday. I haven't heard this as serious. He was questionable today. I think it'll be. I think they tried to steal one tonight, honestly, and I hate to say it because I know this is going to stir a lot of people up. It doesn't look like they can steal one without Powell right now, even if the other guys are playing. So, again, conversations for another time. I appreciate it, everybody who followed us here tonight. It's getting late in the evening, so we'll let everybody go. Check out Cash App. Use the code SECURE10, c-armandstaffing.com. Of course, Lynette, we always appreciate you. She's here in the comments. Insurance by Lynette.com. Have a good night, everybody.